Hold on tight, football fans, because the NFL landscape just shifted. The New York Giants, under new head coach John Harbaugh, just wrapped up a draft that's got everyone talking, and we're breaking it all down, starting with linebacker Arvell Reese. Drafted with the 5th overall pick, Reese is an explosive athlete with a nose for the ball, and Harbaugh clearly sees a future pass-rushing force. Even though the Giants already have a crowded edge rotation with Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeaux. Is this a perfect fit or a positional puzzle? We'll dive deep into the Giants' draft strategy and what it means for their defense this season.
Here's a simple way to protect your phone without stress. This Allen 3-pack comes with tempered glass screen protectors, camera lens protectors, and an installation frame for an easier, cleaner fit. It's clear, case-friendly, and built to help guard against scratches and everyday bumps. Check the link in the comments to get it on Amazon.
But the draft wasn't just about adding new talent. It was a trial for GM Joe Schoen, and the stakes were high. After 4 seasons of underwhelming results, Schoen's future with the Giants was on the line as he worked alongside Harbaugh. A messy situation with all-pro defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence, who requested a trade, threw a wrench into the plans, but ultimately led to a deal with the Bengals for the 10th overall pick. Was this a win for everyone involved, or a sign of deeper issues within the Giants' front office? We'll unpack the power dynamics and what this means for Schoen's long-term security. And speaking of roster moves, a surprising cut just hit the wire. John Harbaugh's very first signing as Giants head coach, defensive tackle DeMarvin Leal, has been waived. Leal, a former 3rd-round pick, was brought in for his versatility, but his tenure was short-lived after the Giants drafted Bobby Jamison-Travis in the 6th round. What does this quick release signal about Harbaugh's vision for the defensive line, and how quickly is he willing to make changes? We'll analyze the implications of this move and what it tells us about the Giants' plans for the trenches. Finally, the 49ers. GM John Lynch is still shopping Brandon Aiyuk, even after the draft, and Mike McCarthy is dodging questions about the Cowboys' quarterback depth chart if Aaron Rodgers returns. Plus, the Chiefs added a quarterback in the 7th round, and the Broncos found their Mr. Irrelevant. But that's not all. We've got links to all the stories and more in the description below. Don't miss a single update. Subscribe now, hit that notification bell, and let's get ready for the 2026 NFL season. Good morning, Giants fans. The Giants concluded a significant 2026 NFL draft, and early reviews are overwhelmingly positive. General Manager Joe Schoen and head coach John Harbaugh, in his first draft with the team, prioritized building a bigger, more physical and aggressive squad, a clear shift in philosophy. The Giants landed what many consider 2 of the top 5 players on their board with Arvell Reese, an explosive inside linebacker with pass rush potential, and offensive tackle Francis Mauigoa, projected to bolster the offensive line and running game. Reese, despite being slightly undersized, is expected to make an immediate impact, benefiting from a scheme that allows him to roam the front 7 alongside Tremaine Edmunds and a strong edge group featuring Kayvon Thibodeaux, Abdul Carter, and Brian Burns. The draft class received an A grade, with analysts praising the team's value picks, including linebacker Jack Kelly, whose impressive pass rush stats speak for themselves, and defensive tackle Bobby Jamison-Travis. The team also addressed needs without reaching, and the selection of Mauigoa aligns perfectly with Harbaugh's vision of establishing a strong running game. While some question the drafting of an edge player as a linebacker, the overall consensus is that the Giants significantly upgraded their front 7. Looking ahead, the Giants face a question mark at defensive tackle with Calais Campbell's future uncertain. The team may pursue veteran additions to ensure adequate depth. Beyond the draft, the Giants are preparing for a Week 3 matchup against the Ravens in Rio de Janeiro, broadcast on CBS. The team's ownership structure remains a topic of discussion, with ongoing questions surrounding the influence of certain stakeholders. Finally, the Giants are encouraging fans to submit questions for their weekly mailbag at bigblueview@gmail.com. Follow Big Blue View on all social media platforms for the latest updates and analysis. The 2026 NFL Draft has concluded, marking the end of a crucial trial period for New York Giants general manager Joe Schoen. Hired alongside new head coach John Harbaugh, Schoen faced scrutiny after a previous four-year record of 22-40-5-1. This offseason was a whirlwind, with the Giants spending $173 million in free agency and seeing several key players from the 2022 draft class depart for a combined $143 million. A contentious situation involving All-Pro defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence, who publicly requested a trade due to pre-existing team issues, was resolved when the Bengals acquired him for the 10th draft pick, a move Harbaugh deemed a win for everybody. Schoen's job security has been a league-wide topic, with questions arising from the Lawrence trade and his relationship with Harbaugh. However, Harbaugh has consistently praised Schoen publicly, and the Giants' draft, which included 2 top 10 picks and a trade for wide receiver Malachi Fields, has been well received by analysts. Harbaugh emphasized his collaborative relationship with Schoen, stating they've worked hours on end and expressing confidence in the draft's potential. While Schoen is in the final year of his 5-year contract, extensions in the NFL offer limited security, and the Giants could opt to evaluate Schoen's performance after his first season with Harbaugh. Don Apont, recently hired as Senior Vice President of Football Operations and Strategy, is viewed by some league sources as a potential successor to Schoen. Ultimately, Harbaugh appears to hold the more powerful position, and Schoen's experience taking a backseat to a strong head coach, similar to George Patton's situation in Denver, could lead to success for the Giants as they strive to become a Super Bowl contender. The New York Giants have released defensive tackle DeMarvin Leal, marking the end of a short stint with the team and a significant moment in the Harbaugh era. Leal, a former third-round pick who spent his first 2 seasons with the Pittsburgh Steelers, was actually head coach John Harbaugh's very first signing for the Giants, joining the team on a reserve future contract back in January. While in Pittsburgh, the 6'4", 290-pound lineman appeared in 32 games, accumulating 35 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and 1 sack. The Giants' decision comes swiftly following the 2026 NFL Draft, where they selected nose tackle Bobby Jamison-Travis from Auburn in the 6th round, signaling a shift in focus towards bolstering the defensive line through the draft and further roster adjustments. Leal's release is part of a broader roster trim as the Giants evaluate their personnel ahead of upcoming minicamps. The New York Giants have released defensive tackle DeMarvin Leal, marking the end of a short stint with the team and a significant early move for head coach John Harbaugh. Leal, a former third-round pick who spent 2 seasons with the Pittsburgh Steelers, was actually Harbaugh's first signing after being named head coach, joining the Giants on a reserve future contract. The move comes swiftly following the conclusion of the 2026 NFL Draft, where the Giants selected nose tackle Bobby Jamison-Travis from Auburn. During his time with the Steelers, Leal appeared in 32 games, accumulating 35 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and 1 sack. The 6'4", 290-pound lineman was brought to New York for his versatility, but struggled to consistently impact the field. This roster adjustment signals the Giants' focus on bolstering their defensive line through the draft and further personnel evaluations as they prepare for upcoming minicamps.